Okay, good morning. I'm taking a public speaking class, as Miss Peggy said earlier, and I have to have 3 speeches done. I've already done one. This is my second one, and I have one more after this. And what I decided to share with all of you is about the memory book, because I know some of the ladies in the church want to do the memory book. And so I figured I'd kind of give you a little background. I began coming to this church in 1983. My grandmother saw to it that I was here every single Sunday. And her name was Shirley May. Some of you may know her. She was a member of the Dorcas class many years ago. Her husband was Elvin May. At that time, Pastor Joyner was our pastor, our preacher, and I enjoyed hearing him speak each week. And one Sunday I began to cry when he was speaking next to my girlfriend Dolores. And I looked at her, and she was also crying as well. And I knew right then and there the Holy Spirit had touched me, and he had touched her at the same exact time. And we both just felt the Lord in His presence. And we both decided we were going to go down to the front of the church, and we were going to tell everyone that we wanted to accept the Lord and become members of the church. And I knew once I saw her crying too that it wasn't just myself. So I was kind of happy to have her with me going down to the front. And we both did accept Christ that morning. Not too long after this, Dolores and I decided to be baptized in this church. And Pastor Joyner, once again, was the one that was going to baptize us, and he was very kind. He came to visit us several times and talked to us about what our decision was to make sure we understood what baptism meant. And he also showed us how to stand. And he made sure that we had to plug our noses and put our arm on the right spot on him, and he took us back. And so we practiced that several times, but of course I was still very nervous. I thought going down the water and coming up and how I was going to look when I came up and everything, being 16 years old. And so the day came, the night of the baptism. I was very, very nervous. So was my girlfriend. And if you've been in this baptismal pool, you'll know that it's very slippery. So you have to walk very, very slow. And I began walking slowly towards Pastor Joyner. And Pastor Joyner said a prayer and asked me did I have anything I wanted to say. And of course I said no. And everybody kind of chuckled, as we always do when someone else is going to be baptized. And it came time for me to be submerged under the water. Well, I was submerged all right. My legs went straight up into the air. I forgot to hold my nose. I began choking on the water. I came up and I was just a mess. But everyone was clapping and kind of smiling and laughing, so at least I made everybody laugh a little bit, I guess. But that was one memory that was hard for me at the time. Another memory I'd like to share is how much I used to enjoy going to the Dorcas class with my grandmother. When I was younger, I was very nervous to go to my age in this church, so Grandma would take me to the Dorcas class, and the ladies accepted me there, at least for several weeks. Eventually I would have to go to my own class, and I didn't want to, because I enjoyed being with the ladies. And I guess after a while, I became part of the class in a way. I must have been there maybe 3 or 4 months. And I enjoyed so much going on the outings. And one of the outings, back then, the 2 vans would be completely full of people. And I remember going with them to a place called The Circle, if any of you know that restaurant. And I enjoyed sitting next. My 2 favorite ladies besides my grandma was Eileen Chappell and Genevieve Smith. And I just thought Eileen was so pretty. And she always had all the beautiful jewelry on. Her hair was fixed a certain way. And she just had the prettiest smile. And I love to hear her talk and talk to her sister, and I miss them both very much now. But I enjoyed hearing all the ladies talking about their families, about their shopping lists, and about what they were going to make for dinner that night when they got home. It was just a wonderful. I wish kids in this church would really realize how important it is to get to know the maybe older ones in our church, because it really is a blessing. I have wonderful memories. I also have a memory going to the Dorcas class Christmas party. And I forget what room it was in here we went to, but I remember Pastor Joyner was sitting to the side, and he was sipping his coffee. And he began writing out his Christmas cards. He wanted to be sure that he gave every person there a Christmas card. And he even gave me one, which made me smile. I wasn't expecting him to do that. But back then, the ladies dressed up, and I just remember the red nail polish and the red lipstick. They were just so beautiful and so Christmassy looking. We kind of toned down the red stuff now, but I still remember back then how beautiful all the colors were and things. And I guess the last thing I'm going to share is probably on Warren Morris. That's knew when he was singing that song, because he lives, I can face tomorrow, I knew Warren was really meaning what he was saying. I knew those words were coming from his heart. And I still, if I hear the organ playing it or anything, I can still hear him and still see him up there singing. And I just wanted to close now. Thank you for your time, first of all. But I want to close now and encourage each of you to share a memory in the new memory book that's coming out in the future. It helps so much. I can't help but think about what if there was a memory book back when Miss Chappell was here, or Miss Genevieve, or Mr. Joyner, or my grandmother. What a blessing and treasure that would be to me to be able to go look in that book and see what was important to them and what made them smile and what made them happy. I know each of you has several memories, and I think so many of us in the church would be blessed to hear what you feel that made you happy, that blessed you, and that would be such a wonderful thing to share with the rest of us in the church, and I truly hope that you all will share your memories in the memory book. Thank you.